I'm Liliana Mina, and I am one of the professors in the higher education program here at the UWM. Okay, we're going to have an overview of the e-portfolio that will take place on April 18th of this year. April 18th is on a Friday, and we usually schedule the e-portfolios between 10 and 4 p.m. And the deadline for the portfolio submission is April 11th. And I would like to introduce Anita Samuel, our graduate student, and she's the technology person. So if you have any problems loading your portfolio or anything like that, Anita's the person to get in contact with. Okay, so April 11th, keep that date in mind. At midnight is the last minute that you can turn it in. And April 18th is for your oral presentation. And I just want to let you know that you can do your presentation face-to-face, via telephone, and we've done them on Skype before too. So you have 3 options, especially if you're traveling from a long ways. You can always do it over the phone or another way of doing it online. So feel free to let your advisor know that that's what you need to do, and we'll be able to take care of that for you, okay? First of all, you want to work with your advisor to plan your portfolio. With your other advisors, you would be working with them to talk about getting your e-portfolio together. If you need to know anything about the process with the portfolio, the person that you would talk to would be me. Okay? If you want to know everything about the content of the portfolio, things that you should be getting together, then that piece will be with your major advisor. So far, so good? Okay, you're going to be addressing the outcomes with your area of study, whether it's adult ed, HRD, or higher education administration. And there are 6 outcomes associated with the adult continuing education or higher education program. Okay, and so what you'll be doing is that you will be getting an artifact or a piece of work. Okay, and you'll be connecting that piece of work with an outcome, and you'll be talking about that outcome as you'll be talking about that artifact as part of your reflection that connects with your outcome. Each outcome has a specific goal course and course goals associated with it. Okay, for example, for outcome 1, if you'll take a look at your handout, and you're an adult and continuing education student, and let's say you're doing one of your courses that you've taken is Principles and Foundations of Adult Education. Well, you can see here are your outcome, your course goals, or the outcomes. The outcome is the nature, function, and scope of adult education. So let's say you want to, I'll just use Dewey. Everybody knows who Dewey is, okay? Let's say you want to use Dewey as someone who had, or in your paper, you use Dewey as Dewey's philosophy of adult education. So you may want to use that artifact to talk about the connecting the history, function, and scope of adult education. Does that make sense to you? Interviews, if you turn them in as an assignment, and I'm sure you looked at the HRD theories and
Yes.
Processes and things like that, you can use that as one of your outcomes.
Perfect.
Okay? And so what you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to take the artifact and then reflect on the artifact and how it has informed your practice. Please, whatever you do not repeat what's in the artifact and the reflection. Like what some people have done is that they take a 10-page paper and then they summarize the 10-page paper in the reflection. And then they say that that's their reflective piece. And it doesn't work that way. What you do is you take your artifact, you talk a little bit about your artifact, but what you do mainly is you talk about how that artifact informs your practice or future practice. Okay, how the artifact inform your journey through the higher education or the adult education program. So you're not talking about the artifact itself. And when you're doing the reflection, you should be doing it APA style 6th edition. Do not talk about something that you don't know about. I've seen this before, has happened with students, that they've talked about a theory, and then when it came to the presentation, the faculty member asked the student about the theory, and the student didn't know anything about the theory. So you want to make sure whatever you put in your reflection, you know what you're talking about, okay? Higher education outcome. Let's choose 709, the Intro to Higher Education course. And the outcome is history of higher education systems in the US and abroad. So let's say we talked about in 709 about historically black colleges and universities, tribal colleges, Asian Pacific America and American Islander institutions. What's the other one? There's four. Native American institutions, also the tribal colleges. So let's say that would be a historical piece that you might want to talk about, or a contemporary piece that you want to talk about. If you wrote a paper in that class regarding, let's say, the community college, then you would use that piece to talk about the history of higher education systems in the United States and abroad. And I know for that class, students usually have an international component to it, so you could use that as an artifact. I'm not saying that you have to, but that's one of the things that you can do. And you don't necessarily have to use a paper for your artifact. You can use a group paper. You can use a PowerPoint presentation. If you did something digital, you can use that as well. So you have different options, okay? So it's not just a paper that you did by yourself. Yes, Anisha?
You can use a case study.
Yes, you can use a case study. Mm-hmm. Yes.
If we did a PowerPoint presentation, like for instance, one of the PowerPoint presentation that we did was the research on international universities. Mm-hmm. Would that be comprehensive enough?
Yeah, that would be comprehensive enough to do a reflection too, because
right.
You did a lot of research. Even though it was like a 7 or 10 slide presentation, you still had enough information, the background and things like that to be able to write about it. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. And to be able to reflect about it, because what you did is what did you learn from that and how does that apply to your professional practice now. One artifact for each outcome, so you can't use the same artifact for 2 or 3 different outcomes, okay? Only one of the outcomes can be used for the e-portfolio, so you can't, like I said before, use one for outcome 1 and then use the same one for outcome 6. Mm-hmm. Each artifact should have a reflection, and each artifact should represent achievement, a significant understanding of concepts and applications of the associated outcome. So you want to make sure that you really are able to tell the reader, this is what I learned, these are the theories and other literature that guide my thinking, my practice. You want to make sure that you do that. Like I said before, you don't want to talk about the artifact. You don't want to do that. You can refer to the artifact, but you don't want to make your reflection the artifact. You want to make sure that you don't do that. I've been reading ePortfolio since I've been here, and one of the things that students make a mistake is that they don't start early enough to put their portfolios together. You can tell when a student did a portfolio in 2 weeks. And some people have done it. You know, they figure, oh, I'll just have everything together and be able to write a reflection, and I'll be able to do 6 reflections and a summative reflection, and I'll be able to do that in 2 weeks' time. So it is really good that you're starting right now. One of the things that you want to do is you want to state why you selected the artifact. Why did you choose this piece of work? Why did you choose this case study or this PowerPoint presentation? How does the artifact connect to the outcome? You want to make sure that you connect the two. The impact of your learning, like I said before, on professional development. And if you don't have a professional position right now, just talk about how it will impact your position in the future, your future career goals. Because some people are not sure what they want to do yet. And so it's okay not to know that, okay? As Anita put it in here, good. A sample template is included in D2L. So a sample e-portfolio is...
Sample e-portfolio and sample reflection.
And a sample reflection. Oh yeah, take a look at that. That's good. Thank you, Anita. You want to make sure that you cite appropriately. Use references. You want to make sure that you do use theories and concepts. This is a new requirement. Before we didn't used to require students to do that. Now we do. And what I mean about other literature, books that you've read in class, it doesn't necessarily have to be a theory, but a piece of work can also can also be included. For example, Leading with Soul might be if you took a leadership course and that book was one of the assigned readings, you can use the whole, you can use that as a reference. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a theory. What we mean by 3 pages when we talk about the reflection, we mean 3 pages, not 2.5. We don't mean that. We mean 3 pages, 3 full pages. You can go up to 4, but don't go to 7 or 8 pages. Please don't do that, because we're looking for a concise essay. We're looking for concise reflection. We're not looking for you to go over your whole your whole life experience. We're not looking for that. So 3 pages is fine. 6 or 7, you're going overboard. Okay, does that make sense? You can do 4 if you want to, but 3 is the ideal, 3 full pages. And references to your 4th page. 3 pages is really quick, but you want to make sure, because it looks easy, but 3 pages is really hard to do. It's not that easy to do, because you want to make sure that you're making the connections. Okay, so you want to go in, make the introduction, go in, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, out. That's how you want to approach it, because when we're reading it, we've already read the art. We've already looked at the whole portfolio. I've already looked at all of your artifacts. And so what I'm looking for is those connections between the artifact and the outcome. And I'm looking for that reflection right there. That's what I'm looking for. Please prepare it in MS Word, your e-portfolio, all of your reflective essays. The summative reflection, 3 to 6 pages. Now that we've asked you to write 6 separate reflections, we want you to write narrative of your experience in the higher ed program or in the adult and continuing education program, okay? And we want a statement of your philosophy. What is my philosophy of practice, okay? That can be part of the literature, but also what you want to do is you want to develop your own voice, your own idea, your own professionalism. Does that make sense? And that can be anywhere between 3 and 6 pages. Try to make it 3 full pages. Don't go overboard. You can do 5 or 6, but don't go overboard. Do not go overboard, because what will happen is you end up repeating yourself, because you just have that artifact, and that's all because all you have is your artifacts. Now you're summarizing your learning journey, and you can do it in 3 pages. Okay? Okay, here's what happens. When we have the portfolio, we have you wait in the lobby, the e-portfolio evaluation. We have you wait in the lobby, and then you come in, and let's say yours is at 10 to 10:30. You come in at 10 o'clock, we help you set up your PowerPoint presentation, and then the 2 faculty members will have in front of them the portfolio information, your portfolio, or they'll have it on their laptop or something like that, okay? Or they'll have notes. And what you'll do is you'll have a 5-slide presentation, okay? So not 7, not 8, not 10, but 5 slides. And in your slides, you're going to be talking about your electronic portfolio, okay? 5 slides. Is it 5 slides, Anita?
Yes, just 5.
5 slides.
That's including any introduction, your name slide, everything together is 5 slides.
Be prepared to present and defend your ideas. So whatever you wrote on the reflective essay, you want to make sure, like I said to you before, that you're able to answer questions about that, okay? And faculty members will challenge students at times, and will ask very in-depth questions, and you want to be able to answer those questions. I do understand that people get nervous, and we understand that. We understand it, especially talking in front of 2 faculty members that are evaluating whether you pass or not. It can be very scary, okay? But we're very understanding in that respect, and we understand that you can be anxious, and that it's kind of nerve-wracking. It can be kind of nerve-wracking. But know that after your 15-minute presentation of your slides, you'll have another 15 minutes to discuss the reflective journals and to answer questions. Then after that, we have you step out, and then we will tell you whether you passed or not. Any questions thus far?
Do you have statistics on those who do not pass?
Well,
Okay.
I knew somebody was going to ask me that question. sometimes people don't pass.
Sure.
I'll be perfectly
I
honest with
understand.
you. And I don't have statistics on it, but I've had students, and all of our faculty members have had students that did not pass. Usually it was because, like I said before, the 2-week window or the 1-week window to put the portfolio together. The other piece is that they didn't know what they were talking about. It wasn't coherent. The whole portfolio piece was just scattered all over the place. There wasn't a coherent theme or set of themes, okay? What we usually do is we have the student expand on their ideas, okay? And we'll have them either rewrite or redo whatever we think needs a little tweaking, okay? And then we either pass or not pass the student. But it does happen. It has happened before. And remember those theories. Mention a theory, know that theory backwards and forwards. Know it backwards and forward. Talk about a book, know it backwards and forward. Because chances are that a professor knows about that particular theory and is going to ask you about that particular theory. A couple of years ago, we had a student that talked about Erickson's theory. And the professor in class, or in the e-portfolio, he had done his research, his dissertation. So he knew Erickson backwards and forwards. And the student was not able to answer the questions. You know, she was really not able to answer them at all. She was just stupefied, you know, and so that was pretty bad. So please know your theories. And I will just give the floor to Anita, who's gonna go through the logistics.
Okay, so this part of it is on how to get into your D2L website and start setting things up for you. So you're looking for this particular, the 100 ongoing administrative leadership e-portfolio thing. It's the last one on your D2L site, okay? So I'm just gonna quickly jump to D2L. Yeah, so when you come into your D2L, make sure you scroll right down, and it will be right down over here. What you are looking for is basically the content section. Okay, so this is what you will have in your content section now. This comprehensive guide, it basically lists out everything that's required for your e-portfolio. How to use ePortfolio and D2L. Now, the 3 over here are basically videos for you. The first one is extremely important. This is the one that sets up the whole thing of what you need, how do you do your home page, how do you put all the elements over there. And I did my ePortfolio, I think 2012 fall. This part of it takes time. It's just small, busy work, but just setting up the website will take you time. So even if you don't have all your artifacts today, every night when you're watching TV, fiddle around with this so you can get it set up. Now, no one's looking for a beautiful web page set up over there, but there are some requirements and you're expected to follow them. I do have to point out that this first video was created some time ago. So the D2L there does look a little bit different, but most of the elements that they mention over there are the same. So it's a great introductory video for you to get started with. The next one that we have over here is regarding the reflections. Well, for your artifact reflections, I'm talking of your artifact reflections, those 6 with the outcome attached, there is no introduction, there is no conclusions per se. Have those 4 sections, fill up the 4 sections, you're done. That's it. Okay, so you don't even have to think about all the other aspects of it. And that's the template we have. It's a Word document in APA style. You just go in and plug in your parts to it. So all 6 of your reflections, you use the same template, so you're set. And this video will actually take you through the whole sections and what we expect in each of the sections using a sample from someone who passed the e-portfolio. So you're safe for that.
One time, one hit.
Okay. The next one is, okay, so now if you're comfortable with the ePortfolio environment and D2L and you want to make it look a little different and you wanted to play around with it, then this video will tell you how to customize certain things. Again, this last part, customizing it, is something that you should be considering right at the end if you have nothing else to do and, hey, I have time and I'm bored. That is not your focus over here, okay? Get it to look there, have all the different elements of it. That's your major focus over here. Okay, and we have sample portfolios. This is again slightly older sample, but it'll give you an idea. Okay, and your e-portfolio, we mentioned the 6 artifacts, the 6 outcomes. You have one PowerPoint presentation, you will have your summative reflection, you will also need to upload your resume. Okay, so all those things together contribute your e-portfolio. If you already have certain sessions, certain artifacts, that's great. Get your artifacts ready and start working on your reflections. And like Professor Meena said, 3 pages doesn't seem long. 3 pages, double space does not seem long. But once you start writing it and you have those sections, you will find yourself struggling at times that you're like, I just said this over there, I seem to be repeating myself over here. 3 pages is more than enough at times. Okay, so hit the 3-page limit. That's what you're expected to do. It's very clear, and all the professors are really straightforward about this. 3 pages, that's your requirement. Get the 3 pages. Okay. The other crucial thing is APA 6th edition. You're all master students. We've all been doing this for however many years now, so you have to have it looking the right way. Okay. So to help you with that, and I think for most of you, we would have sent out an email about the administrative leadership support site, right? The section on APA is really good because it tells you how to set up your Word document and then all the other aspects of it. Go through it. The other part of it is, my contact is over there. I'll be sending out an email as well. Feel free to email me for any of this, okay? And same thing with D12 when you're trying to set things up and it's not doing what you want it to do, just email me as well.